March 8th, day 81. I have been waiting to do this, well, for probably 81 days. Today's the day. This pile has been stable now for 10 days. It's just been, when I flipped it, it bumped up to about 80, and then it slowly come down to now it's just at 60 degrees. So I'm very confident when I flip this into this bin, it will not even get close to thermophilic. It's by no means done in my estimation. It could be a really good mulch right now to go out in the garden, but what I want to do is what the permaculture wizards call stacking functions. So what I want to do is turn this once thermophilic pile into feedstock for vermicomposting. So what I want to do is take this, flip it into this, take the worms, as many worms as I can get out of there, add them to here, and then do a couple other things as well. So I will get busy and bring you guys back when I do something interesting. Awesome, let's go. Okay, phase one complete. I've got it all flipped. It took like 10 minutes. Doesn't take long at all when you're not fiddling. Material is beautiful. Now you'll notice I've actually stacked it quite differently than I normally would into a, like a traditional compost pile. This is much more of a wedge, and that was inspired by Anne over at Planet Obsessed. Awesome YouTube channel, and she has a bin called Big Blue where she does the horizontal wedge technique or method, and it's one of my favorite bins. So I started looking into that, and I actually stumbled along a guy by the name of Mark Brooks at Arizona Worm Farm, I believe it's called, and they do it on a commercial / industrial level. And so I thought, you know what, why not give it a try, see if I can do it in a very small scale backyard composting system. So yeah, on to phase two. I am going to see if there's any worms in there. I haven't checked yet, and see how many I can get from there into here, and yeah, I'll bring you back in a bit. Cool. Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, we have worms. Okay, so as maybe a few of you have seen, I made these screens last fall out of some pallets and screens that I found on a job site. And my theory was that we'd put all the food and the carbon in here, and they would be attracted to that and turn the material into castings. And I can 100% say that worked out really well. So phase two of this is now I'm going to take these screens out, put them in the wheelbarrow, and then see what we got after that. Okay, so phase three is just pulling some of the worms out and put them in the bucket to create a new population for this bin. Now, as a lot of you guys know, I don't really do fiddly, so I will just kind of grab clumps of them where there are clumps and put them in, because I have another plan. And because these are now, what I'm left with is basically worms and castings with a little bit of finished compost. I'm just going to scrape out the remainder and use it in our castings. So, or in our seedling mixes, and potentially like worm teas and worm extracts. So, okay, your guess is as good as mine. Probably 300 to 600 worms in there. So I'll just put that off to the side. And then the beauty of this, I think, is I will be able to sift a bunch of the very fine castings out. And probably get a few more worms as well. Yeah, bunch of worms there. See that? Nice adult worm, formed clitellum. They will demolish this compost, I hope. Okay, I don't know what that was. It's about 10 minutes, but I don't know if you can see, but that's probably at least 70-90% pure castings. So that's awesome. I don't know how many liters that and this is, but yeah, definitely worthwhile. So yeah, I will go on to step 4. Let's go. All right, step 5. Bin of worms, put it in the trough. So my hope is that they will migrate up the pile, and as they do that, I'll be able to take stuff from the back and keep putting it over on the front for fresh organic material for them to consume. Again, it's not perfect, but it's for me, it's definitely worth a try. So yeah, it's been fun to experiment. So I've got one final step that I'm going to show you guys, and yeah, let's go. All right, we're back to conclude. I think one of the most important things I figured out is that worm castings and touchscreen smartphones don't go hand in hand. Small technical error. We're back the next morning here. So anyways, the only thing that you guys missed was I set up a bait cup, a larger version of just a plastic container like this. It's just like a large dishwashing container. Just drilled some holes in it, none on the bottom of course, but all on the sides, and then just filled it with leaf mold, some food scraps, some worm chow, and some finely ground eggshells. So hopefully what's going to happen is we'll bait out a bunch of worms from there and then put them in here. Now I've taken a 25-liter bucket full of worm castings home, and I'm going to do a smaller version of baiting with that too. Again, it's not going to be 100%, but I don't really care. As long as I can get the majority of the worms out, just, put them in there, it'll be great. Yeah, super stoked. This was kind of like a crazy idea. You know, I made these from construction site scraps. All the food was food waste. So basically, we essentially got 25 liters of worm castings, pure worm castings, for free. It inoculated our compost with worm castings, and we'll be using that in a couple weeks. So super stoked about that. And finally, now is this perfect? Not even close. If I had more room, and again, if we were in a different situation, if it was warmer than it is here, I would definitely do things differently. Mainly, most of the material would still be in that bin. I would just create a small layer, maybe 6-8 inches, put the worms into that, let them work on that for a couple weeks, and then keep adding 6 to 8 inch layers and just kind of bring them up with the compost. And then, but in a couple 3 months, we'd have another compost pile that would be almost completely inoculated with worm castings, and they would eat up the remaining, well, most of the organic material. So is this thing perfect? Nope, but it'll be fun to see if they stay all down there. If they just take off, that's fine. But if they start coming up and I'm able to take material from the top and keep covering the face, it'll be great. So yeah, thank you guys a million for all the suggestions and support. It's been super fun, and we'll link Anne's video on Big Blue on the end screen. Go check it out. It's an awesome system. If you're interested in vermicomposting, new to it, or been doing it for a while. Big Blue is an awesome system. So clean and dry, but yeah, you guys stay awesome. Cheers.